So this is the patch that we're going to be making today. This tune evolved over the last few weeks as I understand what I'm doing a little bit more each day. This Cavian module, which is my Circadian Rhythm clone, basically using a TC. So this triggers everything. But it's the Baby 8 that's doing the 1 volt per octave changes into both the Moritz Klein EDU VCO and the Benjiaomodular mini oscillator. So that's basically, this is malted to both of those, both going through 2 filters. So mini oscillator here is going through Benji's mini VCF, and the Circadian VCO is going through the MS20 filter. I think this is a Rene Schmitz one. There's a Music from Outer Space VCA that is being the envelope generated by the Beaks, the Mutual Instruments Peaks clone module, or panel from Modular in a Week. And I've got a couple of Frequency Central modules. The boom is the kick, and Blades of Ingenuity. I'm just using that as an LFO to modulate the cutoff frequency of the MS20 filter, which again is being reset by the Cavian. Other Beaks here is the second kind of hi-hats. Is it hi-hat? Drums? Yeah. A couple of drums thing from there. And I've been toying with having the Turing machine just modulate the CV input for the filter, but I've just taken it out. It's not really adding much at the moment. It's a really simple patch. You can have lots of fun playing with it. Yeah. So I put everything through. It's a Porter Studio 424. So I've got 6 outputs. They were just a DIY attenuator, just 6 potentiometers, and then I EQ it slightly with the Porter Studio just to emphasize the bass on the kick. A bit more. Let's turn it down, turn it up. So that's kind of handy. A bit of a cheat, but it works well. So let's just unpatch it and see. Let's see what happens. It's going to be fun. I'll probably leave. Oh no, I can take it all out. It's fine. I'm not using that, so that's going to go there. I'm using that. Just a kick. Persisting. There we go. Okay, cool. We'll leave everything else in because I'm just going to have to put them exactly where they are. So I normally start out exactly as it is here. Just kill the Cavian for the time being. In fact, what we'll do is obviously triggering nothing, but I'm just going to go to, I've got a blank set of triggers set up here. My default is set up to loop on 8 of the presets, so I basically get a 64 step sequence, but I'll turn that off for now. So we're on group 1, preset 1, channel 1, and we're not doing anything. But what I will do is just use channel 1 as the kick, so I'll just set it up 1 and 4. So now when I plug in, so step 1, it's going into the boom. You can see it, if you can pick it up, it's being triggered nicely. And then the kick output goes into here. So that is picking up the drums quite nicely. And then I have the second one. I'll just stick in output from this hi-hat, and again triggered by, I normally use output 2 on the Cavian here to trigger this one, trigger 2. And if we go to channel 2, just put in a sequence of steps for the cymbals. And with this I can add a bit of swing if I want actually. Let me just... a little bit of swing. That's straight. Can't really tell. Subtle. We'll leave it off. Still tweaking the code for this. It's always a work in progress. Right, so that's those two. And then we need to trigger the baby 8. Now I have basically each of the steps of the baby 8, I've tuned it to the first 4 of the same notes as the second 4. I need to overlay this, but I think it's F. Forget what it is. F, C, D, G. It's just 4 random notes that I accidentally found to quite like the sound of. And then for each oscillator, they're more or less tuned in now. So I'm not gonna mess with the coarse or the fine on either of the VCOs that are in play, because where they are at the moment, more or less, are in tune. But if I take, and I'll use output, what we're doing here, output 8 of the Cavian is going to go into input of the baby 8. So we're going to channel 8, and we're just going to move it on each first step of each sequence. I think the first LED is a bit broken, but yeah, it does work. And then I'm going to take the output of that, and I'm going to mult the output, so I can then send the voltage to the 1 volt per octave input of the mini oscillator and the Moritz Klein VCO. So then I will take the pulse output of this one here, and I will put that into the high pass of the filter. I will then take the filter output. In fact, we'll just show what it's like raw. So I'll use channel 3 on the mixer for the output. So that's just looping through each of those. And I'll do the same thing for Benjiaomodular filter. Take the filter output, so it's resonating at the moment at its current setting, where it's oscillating. Take the pulse out into the inputs here, and then that's doing this. Cool. So that in itself is pretty cool, because they're slightly, I don't know, what's the word? They play nicely together, the two oscillators, because they're more or less in tune, slightly out of maybe some phasing going on, into technical jargon there that I don't understand. But now what I want to do is control those with the envelopes from the Beaks. So I've got this in split mode envelopes. It's attack release. So I'm going to use channels 6 and 7 from the Cavian, so to trigger both of these envelopes, and then we'll just go to channel 6 and we'll trigger that. We'll just kind of random patterns which you can more or less see being triggered, and then what that is going to do is allow me to take the output of that, which is sending an envelope out, use that as the CV input for the MFOS dual VCA. We then we'll do exactly the same thing for output 2, put that as the CV input here. I'm going to keep these, I'll keep these open for the time being, so when the signal goes through it will have no change, because the VCA is fully open. But now what I want to do, instead of taking the outputs straight from the filter, we're going to take the output from the filter now, sorry, the output from the filter is going to go to the input for the VCA. So the output of the VCA now is going straight to out. And then we take the output from the filter to the input, the dual VCA. So you can hear the envelope is taking effect even though it's fully open. So we're just hearing MS20 filter with the Moritz Klein VCO. So on channel 6, that is what we're hearing here. So if I hit it, so you just make up your pattern that you like. So that's VCO, the Moritz Klein VCO. We'll do exactly the same thing for the Benjiaomodular. So we'll take the output from the filter, take it out of the VCA, switch it back over now. So we're just turned down the volume on the MS20 and just got the VCA going for a mini oscillator. So now we take the output of this straight into the VCA. So output of this into the VCA, and it's still fully open. So if I just turn it back, we're going to get nothing because I'm not actually triggering the Beaks trigger 2 yet. So I'm on channel 7 here. So if I just there we go. So we've now got 2 distinct kind of beats and tunes going on. Kind of cool. Let's just play with this for a second. I've not actually tried this for a while. And because this isn't really a demo of this, but I'm just playing with this whilst I build it up. If I go into zoom mode on this particular one, you know, there's, instead of being 8 steps per sequence, I've now got 6 sub steps. So kind of cool. But we'll just kill those. Right, so we've now built up a sequence using the 2 oscillators, a couple of percussion modules. Let's just have a play with this now. So if I start with this on, so it's on preset 1, I'm just going to copy this to each of the other presets. So now if I loop this, I'm going to loop through each of the presets, and it's playing it. In fact, it's basically doing it 8 times. I've got 64 steps now. So if I go into, I'm on output 6, which is this VCO Moritz Klein one. If I go into 64 mode, this is basically the pattern I'm sending out to the Beaks envelope, which is kind of standard static. But if I start to play with it, could like build up to something. But yeah, we just do something slightly different. So I'll do the same thing for the Benjio one, and I'll do the reverse. So that one will start off, and then we'll build down. No idea what I'm doing, just randomly playing with stuff. Yeah. just play with the, if I use the LFO on the cutoff CV1, and then we trigger the reset of that LFO using channel 5. So because I'm looping through each, I basically want to reset it on the beginning step of each sequence, but because I'm now looping, I can turn it off and do it individually, or if I just keep fingering in step 1, that's now on step 1 of each preset. That's being reset on there. What's it actually doing? Kind of cool. A bit bassy. So yeah, that's the patch I've been playing with recently. Really simple. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. Damn it. On channel 8. So at the moment, this is just stepping through on each one. So it's very, well, it's quite repetitive. But if I now change this, instead of being on the first step of each preset, just turn that off. So this is now stuck on whatever note that is on the 7th step of the sequence. I've got a slightly different feel to the tune. I know it should be the first one. So I'm just stepping through 3 steps basically on each bar, and I just need to reset this because it's not quite, I don't think it's triggering on the right one. Try that one. There we go. There we go. Bit of a snare going on there. I think it's a little bit heavy on, they're a bit heavy. On channel 6. Yeah. Anyway, makes it really easy just to build something up quite quickly. So this was on, I think this was, I did a quick load of basically what was ever saved on the 3rd preset, so I'm just going to save this again on effectively sequence 3 over potential 63. That's obviously start and stop. And again, just to reiterate about some of the features here, because that's now saved on the top row in kind of play mode, these become your quick launch buttons, so I can now switch between other stuff I've got saved, whatever that is, with a different set of steps and sequences. What's that one? This is the one I was playing with during the week on Instagram. Yeah, that's the one we just made. What else can I play with? No, I think that'll do for now. Pretty good demo of, some really basic modules. Obviously, you can buy this one as a kit. There's a load of MS20 clones out there. I made these just following all the Modular Week and all the other online synth people on YouTube. Over the last couple of years, this has been my hobby. There's a couple of kits I swapped recently. And yeah, if anybody's interested, I mean the trigger module, the Circadian Rhythm Cavian, all the code, well not the code, the firmware is on GitHub and all the schematics and everything. So if you've got a Launchpad Mini Has to be a mini, not a launch pad. They're two different proprietary firmware. You can build one of these, not that expensive, and I do have some of these modules spare, so I'll probably do another run, but let me know if anybody else is getting interested in making one of these. Cool, thank you for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe, the bells, all that good stuff. I'll catch you next time. Thanks for watching. Cheers.